All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if anybody is listening, and I hope that you are, I'm Keisha, and this is Put Your Phone Down podcast. I'm on season 3, y'all. And I know I told people I was going to come through, and I meant it. One thing I said is when I got this podcast up and going, I was going to come back for my people, and I am a woman of my word. I'm going to tell you something. I have somebody on here and I have known them since they were a little itty bitty. The Campbell family is my people. That's my family. And Avery has always been very solid. Let me tell you, very sure of his purpose and everything. Always, Avery came to the Boys and Girls Club. And one thing that we were talking about is he did not flow with everybody. Okay. And that makes him a very strong leader. He's an entrepreneur, a content creator, an artist, all around great person. And I want people to absolutely get inspired because he's only 26, meaning that if he's out here doing it, you can do it. I want you all to listen to my special guest, Avery Campbell. What's up, Avery?
Hey, 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 hey.
That Avery, we go jump straight in.
hmm
Because as you know, we talked about the time and everything. The one thing I want to ask you, because like I said, I see you moving. And
Okay.
in the pre-interview, I was telling you I barely get on social media, but when I come on, I'm seeing you do your thing. It's the drive that gets me. So this may be a two-parter. You
Okay.
know, the number one thing is what inspires you. And the second thing is at 26, how do you not get sucked into what social media is providing for people in your age group?
Okay. I think what inspires me is my own happiness, truly, is that I only do things that I want to do. I do things that make me happy, that make me feel good because life is hard enough. So I don't want to make it even harder for myself. And I truly know that like God has an amazing purpose for me. And so just my faith in him and the happiness that I want for myself keeps me inspired, keeps me pushing even when I'm ready to throw in the towel. Um when it comes to not getting sucked into like social media and everything, I was part of the generation that grew up on social media, so I've probably been on it like from MySpace and Tag since I was like 9 or 10. And I think the main thing is to remember that it's really not real. Everybody is portraying a image on social media that they want you to believe. Nobody is really putting out the ugly and the bad that they're going through. And I'm so secure in what I want for myself and what is purpose for me that there's nothing that anybody can post or say that's really going to make me follow them and to whatever nonsense that they're doing.
I love that. I Everything you said. And you know what? That applies to people in my age group too. I'm gonna take y'all slang word. I'm big age. I'm big age. So when I see people in my age group still trying to do it, and I'm like, that we grew up with yellow pages. We didn't have
Right.
the stuff that you just mentioned. Like when we seen well, I can only speak for me. When I seen MySpace, I was like, what's this? Like I had to learn how to put music on it and everything. But I like that you have set the path for yourself.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you just on your pursuit of happiness, which is
100%.
that's an admiration right there. So if you don't mind, let's dive into that. What keeps you afloat and just trying to go for your happiness right there?
Because I spent so much of my life depressed and in traumatic experiences and situations that this is my time to finally shine. Like growing up, it was tough. It was saddening, and I think through therapy and just maturing that it's just like I have to live for myself. I have to be happy. And at some point I just got tired of surviving and I just wanted to start living and thriving.
Man. So can we stay on that a little bit if you don't mind? I want to take the take the layers off. Kind of
Okay.
like what you said at the beginning. Social media is not live. I mean real,
Right.
as you said. We only show you what we want people to see.
Mhm.
Barely do we see, and this is why I want to just stick a pin in this.
Mhm.
Barely do we see that behind that happy face, that's what depression looks like.
Mhm.
You know, we don't know that the person standing in front of that brand new car is going through something mentally.
Mhm.
So, as far as depression, what did your depression look like?
Oh man. So I actually got diagnosed with depression at the young age of 8. So basically my whole life I've kind of known that I was different than everyone around me. My depression didn't necessarily come out as sadness, it was anger. I was always had an attitude, as people said, and I didn't want to be around people. I isolated myself. So my depression didn't look like, oh, I was just staying in bed and I was crying all the time. It looked like I had a chip on my shoulder, which I mean, technically I kind of did, but my sadness, even to this day, it still comes out as anger. When you hurt my feelings, it's not that I'm a cry about it. It's like I'm pissed off about it.
Mhm. So, it's so many different ways to look at depression. I'm glad you said that. And then at 8, it's good that you identified that. Like, I mean, you knew it was anger, but
Mm-hmm.
now at 26, you can at least say it was attached to something. Some people just say, I'm angry. That's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's always something deeper attached to it. So,
Yep.
thank you so much for sharing that because I want people to know with this platform good, bad, ugly, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because you never know who you are inspiring by even sharing the ugly, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So moving forward, it's so much I want to cover, and I don't really know which one to hit on first, but I want to get on this newsletter. If you have a weekly newsletter out, the
Mm-hmm.
OnPurpose Journey. And
Yes.
that kind of ties into what we just finished talking about because I know in your newsletter you do talk about, what life is and encouraging people. So now I'm going to give you your space and time to talk about what this weekly newsletter will be and where people can find that.
Okay, so I started it back in the end of July. It's called On Purpose Journey. And I started it because this year I've truly been like in limbo of like what to do next with my life. For the last couple of years, I've been an entrepreneur. So I had my clothing company, I had a literary magazine, and I was a business and marketing coach. And I mean, I was on a high, I was good at it, I was excited to do it. And then 2023 started and I just felt so unaligned with what I was doing. And I closed down all the businesses and I kept asking myself what's next and I didn't see what was next and that scared me because I've always known what was next. So I started this newsletter kind of like sharing my story of figuring out what I'm supposed to do next because I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. Like you have tied your identity to something for so long and then it doesn't fit you anymore. And it's like, well, what do I do now? And so I just have been sharing my journey with that. And as I was sharing my journey, it like kind of hit me to like, oh, write a book, like write a book about helping people live out loud. Cause like as you mentioned in my introduction, I've always been me. I've like never
Mhm.
strayed from like myself and what I want. And so I'm currently writing a book about that. But the newsletter, I share it every week, and I just talk about my week, like what happened, what can somebody learn about it, things that I learned that week. And so I actually, it goes out every Monday. So I at the time of this recording, I had just sent it out, and I talked about the social media break that I'm doing. I'm slowly cleansing from social media and what I'm learning about myself while not being on social media, because like I mentioned, social media has been a part of my life basically my whole life. So like imagining a life without that has definitely been interesting for these last couple of months.
Yes. Oh, I'm on that myself. That's why I'm like, whoa. You know, I'm on the cleanse as well. And for me, it wasn't even planned. One
Mhm.
day I got on and I was about to post something, and it was just something came over me. What is
Mhm.
your intent?
Yep. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, you go post food. What the hell? Like, what is your intent? People are eating. I hope, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's so
Yeah.
special about that steak I'm posting? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What's so special about that concert I'm at?
Yeah.
I I took That's why I took my break,
Mhm.
but yours just came from, like you said, just pretty much having to cleanse yourself and realign, like you said,
Mm,
basically back to a better version of yourself,
right, exactly.
which it sounds like you're doing, because I just got to give you your props again. Um, at 26, and
Mhm.
I called you a baby in our pre-interview, like, at 26, this is what you have under your belt. And it's just a few things that I'm naming. This is the resume that I have: author,
Mhm.
entrepreneur,
Mhm.
content creator. I mean, the list, I'm sure, goes on and on, since I just named three.
Yeah.
So, what it sounds like is you about to submerge and come out soaring into something else.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the businesses because you said you closed those down, but I still want to give those a shout out, because that's what I started to see. Like when I would get on, I'm like, oh my, like you was going hard. I believe it was jewelry too, correct?
Yeah, jury too.
Yeah. I saw the rose quartz on there. I saw
Yeah.
it. So if you want to give that business a shout out, I'm not for sure if you do, or, but we got to let people know, look, you just not sitting on your butt. You have made it happen, and you are making it happen.
Oh yeah. So I've done so many things just like in the last 3 years. So like author, I've entrepreneur, content creator. I started putting out music. So I have a couple of singles out.
Yeah.
I did a podcast for a little bit. I was an editor in chief for my own literary magazine, a business coach. Like I feel like Queen Latifah. I've done it all.
Yes, yes, yes.
um the businesses that I had, so I was a business coach, and I was a business coach because I was like, when I was doing my businesses, I did my clothing business first. When I was searching for like help, it was very, I didn't see like in the business coaching space people who looked like me, who had the same problems as me when it came to business. And so I decided I would just fill in that gap. So I did about 6 months of researching when it came to business development, digital marketing, ad marketing, SEO, all of that. And then I started my own coaching business, which I primarily helped Black women who were single mothers. So I felt like that work was really rewarding to help put money back in the Black community with my expertise. And I did that for about 2 years. I had my clothing business, which I remember in third grade, we had to write an autobiography, and they asked us what we wanted to be. And I said, a lawyer and a fashion designer. And so I kind of just lived out that dream with that. So I was doing streetwear clothing and jewelry, and it was size inclusive. So we went all the way up to a size 5X, and we had like all of our jewelry came with adjustable chains just to make sure that everybody could fit what I was selling. And what I really loved about that is because when you look at streetwear, when you Google streetwear, see it on Pinterest, it is thin body people. And so I wanted to go ahead and add diversity to that space. And with my online literary magazine, I have self published my poetry book back in 2018. And I self published it because all the publishing houses were like, first of all, it was near so expensive just to submit your manuscript, and then literary agents were only looking for a specific type of people and a specific type of writing. And I felt like the story that I shared in my poetry book was one that needed to be heard. And so I self-published it myself, and I was thinking like, I wonder how many other poetry collections or books have gone unseen and unread just because of the publishing industry. And so I gave, with my literary magazine, I wanted to give a voice to marginalized voices and writers. And we put out six biannual issues. We had a weekly issue that we put out that highlighted writers. And I actually closed that down last month because as much as I loved it, I felt like it needed so much attention and it started to feel unaligned. And I knew that the platform that I had was so important that I shouldn't do it out of bitterness or out of dread or see it as a chore. It should be something that I was truly passionate about. And so for the moment, I did go ahead and close out the magazine.
That is, oh, look, I feel like somebody's proud mama because the way you just jotted down everything and you just getting started, you
Yeah.
know, I want to just take a minute and go through this journey that you just said. So at 8, you realized through therapy and all of these, it was depression.
Mhm.
Depression is no joke. You know, we can't even make light of that.
Right.
But you kept pushing when a lot of people are not here today
Mhm.
to talk about that. So you got the book, entrepreneur, content creator, you got music out.
Mhm.
And I know we covered that. I also just wanted to kind of dive in. One of the things that I did not cover was the word integrity
Okay.
and how I love that you keep that. I love that. Um, and I keep going back to your childhood just because
You know.
I know that, you have always remained who you are.
Mhm.
And I love that you still are here, as far as, we touched briefly on the depression and how
Mhm.
you still here just trying to carve a better version of yourself. And I just have to give you your props to that because if anybody is listening, you can push through this,
Yeah.
this, you 26 and you don't have to be 26, you know?
Come on. Come on.
And you didn't have to make it to 26. So I just want to say that. I want to put that out there into the atmosphere in knowing that I applaud you for going for whatever makes you happy.
Thank
We are
you.
here for what is it? A short time,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay? And a good time, short time, whatever the phrase is. I know I messed that whole quote up. I was trying to be deep, and it just ain't happening, okay? But naming all the things that you've done. And
Mhm.
like I said, I would get on social media and would see you grinding.
Mhm.
Now let's get on this for a minute because now I'm in this now I'm in the world, okay,
Yeah.
where you put out your work
Mhm.
and you got people. You know you got people.
Mhm.
You ain't got to talk to them every day, right?
Right. Right.
So when you have the knowledge, especially being a coach and how to get other people going,
Uh-huh.
you even gave me some, ground rules on how to get things going. So you have the knowledge.
Mhm.
And knowing that, I see it working because, like I said, I would see you just floating around. How does it feel knowing that you getting up, you putting out your content, you putting out the clothing, you putting out the books,
Mhm.
and you don't see that share button sharing so much? Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of just there for decoration a little bit.
Right. Right.
How do you keep going knowing that when you look down and see it, it does let you see who's representing in what cities and states. Maybe I'm telling too much of the business, but we can see on our end
Yeah. Everything.
everything, right? Who unfollowed,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
um, the cities and the states.
Yep.
So let's say you got 50 people in your surrounding area and it shows 50, but you don't see 50 people sharing that. How you keep your head above water with that?
Oh, it is very hard not to take it personal, especially because, and I know you do the same, we share everybody else's stuff with no hesitation. And I just think of them like haters. I just feel like misery loves company and you want to keep me where you're at. So you're not going to share my stuff because if I get above you per se, then you're going to start feeling bad about yourself. That's the deep version. The other version is just like, you just mad that I'm living my life and you don't have the courage to do it.
Shots fired. And I like it.
Yeah, it's so funny because I have music out and we have our analytics app and you can actually see the cities where everybody's listening to your music, and it's so funny because I've had people say, "Oh, I heard the new song and I loved it," and I go check my analytics and your city is not on there, so why would you lie? So yeah, we see everything.
Your gun is loaded. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Because we have to give them their flowers too. Um, and this is one thing I've learned, and like you said, we do share. I have learned and am learning is nothing personal. I try not
mhm,
to. Also, in knowing that it makes me keep going. Like I'm gonna keep pushing
mhm,
only because that's something I'm excited to do. It's not a lot of people who come with that gift of sharing stuff. Like I share people's stuff I don't even know
yeah, me too, me too. I
because
just
it's simply just a button. Like I might not have the money to buy it, but
a share is
if I
free.
a share is free, right? But I have learned you got your cheerleaders,
Mhm.
and then you have the captain. Most likely the captain is not used to being the person cheering. They the ones that's telling people what to do. The
Right.
captain may not even know how to share, but
Mm.
you have your co-captain who's the one cheering you on. They know how. But when you get in that captain space,
Mhm.
everybody may not know how to share that platform. So I don't know, how do you deal with that? Is it sometimes where you've wanted to give up and not post?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's natural. We're humans. We're gonna get in our feelings about it, especially when you see people share other stuff, but they're not yours, and it's just like, what am I doing wrong? But at the end of the day, I learned from having all my businesses that family and friends aren't going to pay your bills. And I know there's a huge debate about this between business owners. Like, they're not your target audience, so you shouldn't be worried about them sharing. And it's more than them not being it's not them not being my target audience. It's the fact that, like, if you care about me the way you say you care about me, why wouldn't you want to help me build my reach, help me build my audience? Like, what is it so hard to share? And so I try not to take it personal because at the end of the day, I'm not posting the content necessarily for them. I'm posting it so that anybody who can resonate with what I'm selling can be able to see it. So once I remove the expectations that my family and friends is not going to share this, then I'll focus more on the people who were sharing it and commenting and liking it and seeing what I can post more of that they will share more of, and then just creating that cycle between the my real community of supporters.
There you go. I mean, because we also have to acknowledge, just like we gave the ones who don't, we
Hmm.
give the ones who do so much love, you know,
Yes, yes.
because it is hard. It's humble pie every day, you
Every
know.
day.
You ever post something at night thinking that you go be highlighted in the morning, you wake up like,
Yes, you wake up, you like my phone gonna be blowing up. You got 3 likes. Yeah. Yeah.
that's where I am now. I'm like, ooh, three. Hey, I take it. Um, and I'm glad that we can laugh at that because
Yes.
it's strength too. It's like it's that endurance.
Mhm.
I watch a lot of top tier celebrities now
Mhm.
that started out as extras. Now they up there.
Uh,
Recently on my page, I posted 50 Cent, and he
mhm.
talked about how he got declined 23 times.
Mhm.
And he was like, finally, stars picked him up, and you got all type of powers going on,
Right.
to the point
Yeah.
I'm confused. I don't know. I don't even watch it no more
You
because
know,
I'm like, I don't know which power to watch, but the fact that stars took a chance on him, but
mhm.
before then, he got knocked down 20 plus times.
Right.
It just lets you know we in the right field, like you just got to get knocked down a couple times to readjust yourself and find out, hey, I got this.
Yeah.
So shout out to the ones that do and the ones that don't. We still love you, we still champion for you, and hey, we go get there. um Avery, we are closing up, and this has been such a phenomenal um, interview. I feel like I'm missing some things. And that's where I am going to exit stage left, not enter it. I promise you, I'm not even drinking and I'm talking crazy. Okay. But no, I'm going to exit stage left. And what I would like for you to do
mhm.
is tell your story, you know, now that you have your voice, put it out there, and you know how we go end it. I gotta know your goat. I gotta know who you listening to, who is your favorite poet, whoever your goat is. That's how I want you to end it off. But I'm gonna be quiet and let you tell whatever story Avery wants to share with the world.
Oh, no pressure at all. It just reminds me of like those posts. It's like if someone called you up to the TED Talk stage, what could you talk about real quick for 15
Right.
minutes? So this is my practice.
Yes.
um I think something that's on my heart right now, mainly because I'm going through it, is being picky about who's in your community. And as I'm writing my book, where I'm talking about helping you figure out your purpose and also having the courage to live your life out loud, one of the chapters I talk about is the people around you, that you're going to have haters and naysayers and people who simply don't want to see you succeed because it reminds them so much of their own failures. And so they're going to do whatever it takes to keep you down. And you know the saying, blood is thicker than water. I add on to that, blood is thicker than water, but both of them can leak. And you should
Mhm.
always address the leaks in your circle. And I think when it comes to your circle, this is friends, family, everybody included, I think we give too many chances. And this may be controversial, but I think we give too many chances to people, especially when they have shown us time and time again who they are. And a lot of the times, the people that we keep around in our lives are preventing us from truly stepping into our purpose, from being able to hone in on our gifts. And I am the type of person who, like the J. Cole song, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. But fool me three times, it's a problem. And I don't like to give people that third strike. And so I know for a lot of people, they're in situations, especially with family, where they are letting toxic family members stay around them. And it's like, you have to cut those people off. Family, friends, you have to cut people off. You have to let go of things if you really want to get to the next part of your life. You know, in order to elevate, there has to be some separation, there has to be some isolation. And you're trying to bring baggage and dead weight with you everywhere you go, and you're wondering why your load is so heavy, why your life feels so heavy, why your emotions feel so heavy. It's because you're trying to bring everybody and their mama and their problems with you to the next step when it's not room for them. And so this is for, I don't know who needs to hear it, it could be myself. um First and foremost, love yourself. You are the most important person in your life, and you set the tone for all of your other relationships. If you don't disrespect yourself, if you don't disrespect your own boundaries, no one else will be able to do that either, because they see that you don't take any nonsense. And then truly be picky about who you allow in your life, and don't feel guilt about who you may have to cut off. You know, maybe it could be a temporary cutoff, like, you know, you just, they need to get their mess together, you need to get your mess together, you could come back. Or sometimes it may be a permanent chop off, and it's okay. You can go ahead and mourn that relationship and that connection that you thought you were going to have, and but you can also move on so that you can truly step into all of your power, into your purpose, into the happiness that you deserve. That's my little spiel.
That's a whole motivational speech. No, for real, you dropped the mic on that because when you said I don't know who I'm talking to, I wanted to interrupt like me, but it's a lot of me's out there and everything you said. Again, I got to bring up your age at 26. There's so much wisdom and knowledge in you. And a lot of people are wishing that they could get that.
Hmm.
Everything that you covered is things at 26 I know nothing about. That's a whole nother topic, but I knew nothing about loving myself. What was
Hmm.
that? I knew
Right.
nothing about the mourning of friendships. I definitely
Yeah.
taking people with me though. Like I knew that, but I didn't feel good about it if it was going to turn into a jealousy because that's not my intent. But sometimes we can enter a room and our light is brighter than
Hmm.
the others.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's nothing but the truth.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you better than anybody. It
Exactly.
just means that it's your time.
Hmm.
And I like that you said that. We got different keys. We got different doors. And
Hmm.
when it's your time to walk through that door, you will have to leave a few things behind. And like you said, if we circle back, that means that you have or they have found their calling as well, which is
Right.
which is just dope. So I don't want this interview to end,
Me
but
either. I'm having so much fun.
I know that it has to because as we know it do a cutoff thing. It put us on in jail. Um, but I want to end it with I know you had enough time to think about it. And also, Avery, before you get off, I want you to go ahead and shout out, your newsletter again and all of that. I know you just informed people, but what I would like for people to do is visit your music. I know that that's on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
um, and everything like that. So we go start off with the goat.
Okay.
Is your goat and why?
All right, so I'm gonna have to go with this current moment in time. My goat would be Cheryl Lee Ralph, and I'm gonna tell you why. I almost said it when you was talking about 50 Cent and about how he got rejected 23 times. Well, we all know Shirley Ralph. She's been black famous for a long time, but she has this saying that she took 40 years to become an overnight success because she just received her first Emmy award in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is just the testament of will and never giving up and just keep pushing through when you have faith in yourself, because I'm not gonna lie, if I was doing the same thing for 40 years and not getting the accolades and the awards that my peers were getting, I would feel some type of way. And
Mm-hmm.
for her to continue to just push through and to keep doing what she was doing, and at a high level of excellence, she's an incredible actress, and then finally get her moment. I feel like, and she's doing it with grace and very humble. I feel like that's my goat, because it's just like that is the epitome of perseverance right there.
Man, shout out to Cheryl Lee Ralph. You right. Like starting out with Dream Girls
Right. Mm-hmm.
and everybody who she played alongside with, Loretta Devine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Um, they all kind of blew up, you
Yeah.
know. So
Mm-hmm.
man, that's a good one. No, no, that's a you got me stuttering on my own podcast, but that that's a good one. Okay, so we go end this with you selling yourself. Where can people find you? Where can they support you? And we hoping and putting out there that they do at least,
Go
you
look.
know, find you. Yeah, go look, take a peek, send you a screenshot or something. But tell people where they can find you at.
So you can find me on Instagram at the Kane Avenue. That's my stage name. And then all my music is under Kane Avenue, so it's on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, anywhere you listen to music. My newsletter is on Substack, so you can go to onpurposejourney.substack.com and catch up with all the editions that have been out, and also subscribe so you'll stay in the know. And I also release weekly newsletters, but also a preview of my book every week as well. So that's where you can find me. And I hope that when you read the newsletter, it helps you learn a little bit more about yourself, and you take some wisdom from it to continue to live your life the way you want.
Amen. I'm going to actually share your newsletter on my page. And you said the Kane, is that what the a C or a K? I'm gonna make sure that they following or at least
Yeah.
go in there and peek at you.
It's with a K, Kane, and then Avenue like a street, which is
Okay.
it's a funny story.
You got time to share it. I think it
Okay.
look,
Yeah.
you'll know if we cut off. So go ahead.
So my name is Avery, and my younger sister, she was like, I don't have a nickname for Avery. She's like Av, like Avenue, and she's been calling me Avenue because she was
Hey, Bessie.
so that's, and then Kane is my middle name. So I put those two together, and that's how you got the stage name. But it's so funny because she was just like Avenue, Avenue. Yeah, that's it.
That's my girl. Look, I love y'all so much, the Campbell family, my people for real. Had it not been for my mama meeting Cherry
I
and all
know.
the fact that y'all gave me family, we don't have much family up here at all. So the fact that we could always come over there,
It's a lot
and
of us
hang
too.
out. Yeah, yeah, for real. Like, and I feel comfortable with y'all. We just talked about I don't mess with everybody. So remember we was outside playing Uno. This conversation going on too long. But Avery, I want to thank you so much from a little baby
Yeah.
to just being a phenomenal and standing in who you are as an adult. I mean, I know you lasted a few weeks at the Boys and Girls Club, but I still got to say, because you was like later for that, I still got to say that you are an alumni of that. But like I said at the beginning, I saw it in you. When you was off to the side by yourself, it just let me know that's a leader over there. That's not somebody that want to be doing everything what everybody is doing. And it has gotten you so far. And I just say keep pushing. So shout out again to the Campbell family. Thank you for saying yes. And I hope your story reaches millions, to be honest with you. Let's say trillions. So again, I told you was a rising star, and I know what I'm talking about. I know a star when I see one. So, for my listeners, if you have listened this far, I want you to know that nothing is impossible. We're talking to somebody who battled depression starting at 8, and now at 26, they have so much a resume letting you know that no matter what your age group is, you can keep pushing. Just reset. And
Yes.
with that being said, thank you all. Share this if you want to. We don't take it personal. We're not taking it personal at all. But share this, and I want to thank everybody. If you have a story, hit me up. Go and visit my Facebook page, and we can connect. You all, thank you for allowing me to have season 3 of Put Your Phone Down podcast.
Yes.
I'm your host, Keisha. And if you got a story, I have a listening ear. Thank you all so much for listening.